Hello, welcome to the sporting channel. This is the very first video I have created, and this is going to be a very special one because this one is about a sport I have created and won a singular championship in, and it's pretty special to me. Um, Never got the time to record it, never had the chance to record it, but today I was able to get it done and I was able to record it perfectly. There are some minor mistakes I made, but in case you want the full story on it, I'll give you some time to just listen into it. If you just want to get into the highlights and my commentary on it, then you will have to go to this timestamp right here. Yep, right here. And now you will have to listen to my rambling for a little bit. Okay, let's get on with it. So this series is called the LLB, which stands for Little League Baseball. This is a series I have created, and it's a little bit different than baseball. You see, you get a bat, obviously. There's 3 bases and a home, but there's no plates. And the ball isn't a baseball, but it is in fact just a more larger ball, so you can hit it. It's kind of like kickball in a way, except with a bat, where if you get hit by the ball, you're out. If someone catches the ball, you're out. If someone touches the ball with the base, you're out. Now, there are a couple things with LLB. It is played in a yard, a friend's yard, and just for clarification, this, how would I say it? It's more just, it is a sport, yes. But the people within the sport, as well as other sports that I have created, they all have, I would probably say, specific, like, things within the yard. So we had to conjure up different rules and different spots for these bases. Now, of course, it's not going to be as difficult to catch on to, but there are going to be cuts in these highlights. And I want to be very, very specific about this because I haven't caught every single moment, and if I could, I would. But I didn't, which was stupid of me because every run that was made within this, every point that was given, or at least majority of the points that were given, they were not, they weren't necessarily recorded. Much more rather after the fact, and then some. But where I'm getting at, let's get onward with some of the rules, shall we? The very first rule that is obviously going to come into contact here: 3 strikes is an out, and 3 outs is a switch. Now, the innings, there are 9 innings for this LLB series, and for the bases are completely different, and there has been kind of mistakes in the creation of making the bases, or at least trying to find a spot to make the bases. There was a bit of confusion at first, but I'm not going to get into that. You'll know what the bases are just by me explaining it, but I'm not going to explain it. And as of right now, there is every MLB team, but the people that are in the series, they're representing the team. So they're not exactly, playing as the team, because then that would be copyright infringement, blah, 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 whatever. But they're representing the team, right? And for me, which is kind of dumb of me because I'm in Pennsylvania, I should be rooting for a Pennsylvania team, but I'm not. In fact, I am representing the Oakland Athletics, which is pretty stupid of me, but after watching Moneyball, I think it was a pretty good decision. Now, enough of that. I'm only going to be recording the LLB versions of the Oakland Athletics games because that was the one championship I had won was with the A's, and I felt like it was pretty good. So, with that being said, there's going to be different things for this. There's more rules, which if there is a home run of any sort is when the ball is hit onto the ground and goes over the fence. That is a home run because then somebody has to go over the fence to go get the ball. And the fence in question is a little bit broken. So the entry point that you have to go in is blocked off now, or at least partially blocked off. So at the first half of this was home run. I'm going to make that very simple and very plain. There has been a couple home runs in this game specifically. Now, here's where I'm getting at. If you hit the ball with the bat and it goes over the fence before it hits the ground, that's an out of bounds. If you hit the ball with the bat and it goes behind you, that's a foul ball. If you don't swing at it, that's a ball. And if you hit it and it stays to the side, then it's also a foul ball. Now that might sound confusing, but you get the idea eventually, because people will not be able to catch up to the ball. And besides, this ball is very, very bouncy. So it's going to be a lot harder to get to the ball if someone ends up bouncing it, or we'll call it bunting, when it hits the ground and it's just on the side. That is a very, very bad thing. Okay? So, here we go. The scoreboard is going to be right around here. The sport logo is going to be up here, and the inning is probably going to be right in the center here. So, one more time, I'm going to make this clear, and I'm going to also put a disclaimer in here. There are some elements of foul language here, as well as some minor mistakes being made and very long cuts of sorts. This is because in the game, you are capable of not running off of a base for a certain amount of time. And this was a 2v2 matchup. So if there's already two people at two different bases, the people that were pitching are now having to throw it up in the air until somebody ends up moving. So, with that being said, I hope that clears some things up. This is a miniature league baseball series I have created about a year ago, and I hope this helps out a lot with understanding it. But what you're about to see is a pretty decent game that I have recorded, my very first game, and this will definitely not be the last time I do this. So here we go. This is the Oakland Athletics versus the Detroit Tigers. Thank you, and, well, enjoy my commentary onto this, alright? Thank you. This was the first play of the game. Watch, she bunts it, and right about here. Now, she gets into first base here. Unfortunately, the ball does not hit her, therefore she is safe. Now, they both manage bases loaded. Now, what you're about to see now is a very excruciating long pause of play. Simply because everybody was refusing to move off of their base. And on occasion, there will be a move off of base, like right here, where our very first batter moves from second to third base. So, just be advised, this will be a very long pause, and just enjoy the show. Now, as you can see, I clearly did not notice it until this point in the video. Our second batter ends up moving over to second base, while everybody else is just kind of having their backs turned to him from first base. He makes a move over to third base. Now, this is a rule that everybody should have been pretty clear on during these times in the LLB. Everybody can stay on a base. They just can't stay on the base for a very long time, like what they're doing now. So from this point forward, we'll probably put a law or a rule into it. So yeah, but in the meantime, this is just a very long pause, and hopefully you enjoy the show. Now right here, our first batter gets into home plate. Therefore, it is a 1-0 lead, Athletics. Now, I know you couldn't see that because my camera was facing away from the hit, but clearly that was an out. This was another bunt attempt as she goes into first. The secondary batter ends up staying in third base. Has not moved from there for probably a solid 5 minutes of absolute horror. But this is pretty much what it looks like for the majority of the game. So just enjoy the show, like I said before. As you can see, you could just barely tell that he got out, but the ball did make contact with his back. Therefore, it was a third out, and it's a switch. That's 3 outs. That's a switch. I'm gonna run. Oh, yeah. There's no comment here. This was just a minor mistake from the Tigers. Ball 1. I don't know if I caught that. He gets a lucky shot, having an opening with the person that was closest with the ball, and ends up walking it home for their first point. Foul ball. Strike. You're probably wondering, hey, why is he back at bat again? Well, I made the dumb decision to cut the camera off, and so he somehow, and fortunately for their team, ended up gaining a point. Therefore, the Tigers have taken the lead. 1-2. One slid into third. I wonder what are you gonna do now, huh? I wonder what are you gonna do now? Another dumb mistake I have made, cutting the camera off early while someone was making a run. This is a 1-3 lead. Tigers. Out of bounds. There's no need for me to explain that this is a 1-4 lead. However, there is going to be a moment during this video where I say run 4, but it really is still just 1-4.
He didn't touch the gate yet. Run 4. Foul ball. Foul ball.
Now, the reason why me and pretty much everybody else except for the batter said foul ball was because he ran for the ball when it was going a different direction. Therefore, it does not count as a hit.
Fair. Fair run.
A pretty close throw here. Unfortunately, it was not enough to get this guy out. Therefore, this is a 1-6 lead for the Tigers.
Nope, right here already. Nope, here already. Okay.
Now, I know it's going to be wrong for me to do this, but I'm going to not give this one a point solely because of the taunting penalty. Now, I know it wasn't thrown at all or just up there in the wind, but this is definitely a taunt.
Run 2-6.
Yet another dumb mistake I had made. Now, I do not remember hearing the A's getting a second point throughout this recording or pausing at any point for it, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to give them the second point. This is a 2-6 game, still Tigers.
Strike 1. Run 2-7. Fair ball.
Huh?
Fair ball.
Hey, ball, alright.
Home run.
Hey, ball, it's a home run. It's a home run. Go. It's a home run. It's a home run.
Home run. 2-9. Run. Go to 2. Go to 9. Go here. Run. Fly off. Walk off. 2-9. Strike 1. Ball.
Oh, no, look how my now.
Fair ball.
You see? No, you gotta go. You gotta
Out of bounds. Strike 1.
How many? Give me the ball. See? I give it to you.
Ball. Fair ball. Out. Ball.
No, it was ball. No, it was foul ball.
Ball. Fair. Out of bounds. Strike one. Ball. Ball. Or foul ball. He stepped off. Out three. Switch. Fair ball. Miss.
She's not good. She just want to try.
Fair ball.
What are you doing, Elijah? Bro, running for the ball. Get out of my way, though. Wait, just. I freaking want to do. Bro, you gotta.
Double run. Foul ball. What's up? Yes. Out of bounds. Fair ball. Wait. Yep, fair ball.
Back.
And move back.
Yeah, move back.
Foul ball. Fair ball. It's a fair.
Alright, okay, redo that, bro. Yeah, I did it nice.
Redo.
That's better than you. Wait, you stepped off. No.
The reason why I paused it here specifically is because in the history of LLB, we never had a moment where someone ended up tripping or sliding in any sort and still being on the base. That's pretty impressive.
Safe.
Oh, fucking stupid.
Inbounds. Out two.
We have a couple newcomers coming into the field, which means somebody's going to end up calling the shots. Another person's going to be behind the batter catching the ball, and the other one's going to attempt to call penalties, which they don't do, by the way.
Ball. Fair.
Hit him. You know what? I'll do. Foul ball. Foul ball. Ball. I haven't played it.
Hello. Hi.
Out. Out. Strike. No, it's a foul. It's strike.
Out of bounds.
Foul ball. No, I meant strike. Jesus Christ. Foul ball. Fair ball. Home run. Foul ball. Foul ball. Fair ball. Get it! Out. Foul ball. Foul ball. Did you play Aria?
Yeah, they're at the
Strike.
Fair ball.
Home run! Quick! Emily! Run! Go! Stay! I can run. No! Stay! Just stay!
Foul ball.
I know what I was doing.
Out of bounds.
Foul ball.
Fair. Final play. Time's running out. Final play.
It's safe to say that this point will not count solely because someone decided to knock the ball out of his hands. So, yeah, this won't be a point.
Out of bounds. End game.
Here are your remaining scores. Well, I hope you certainly enjoyed this video just as much as I did. It was a really fun experience having to, record this game. I think it was pretty funny with some of the stuff that was here. If you happen to like this stuff too, be sure to like and subscribe, and tune in for the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.